Hey Void, how you doing? Vivi Rizzo still trying to keep back on it. I've been still a little slow to keep these coming as much, but in my defense, I got Pokemon Legends Arceus for Christmas, and that's been a distraction. While I've been watching movies, I will admit I've been usually using my review time to be playing that, so. Oops. Sorry. Ah. Now it's not like there's a line waiting out for these videos. Alright. So, I don't review a lot of movies that come out too recently. Usually I do a lot of things from the 80s and before, and a lot of random 2000s movies, but it's rare that I do something that's very topical. Well, here's what I was changed that because this movie was, seeing it was kind of a priority. That was Glass Onion. No, I'm not going to use the dumb subtitle that the producers and studio wanted to put on there. I'm sticking with the director and just leaving it at Glass Onion. Okay, so this movie just came out, 2022, so it's probably the most recent movie that I've reviewed. And has Daniel Craig reprising his role as Benoit Blanc. And he gets caught up in another mystery. This one involving a group of rich disruptors being called to the island of a brilliant inventor to, after solving his puzzle box, to essentially do a murder mystery dinner party. But Benoit Blanc also seems to have been invited and shows up, but the person who was running the thing was quite surprised that he's there. And, well, he goes from there as a group of terrible people that do terrible things are all put in one spot together, and then when bodies start piling up, it's up to our intrepid inspector to figure out what the heck's going on. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for this movie. It's very well put together, and if you enjoyed Knives Out, I think you'll also enjoy this one as well. The movie is a decently put together mystery. One thing I do like is as it goes along, you can pick out little strange details that do come back and kind of explained a little bit into the happenings. So if you're paying attention, you can pick up some details, but I will say I didn't call all of the twists, or really even any of them. My guesses were kind of off on this one, so it did a good job with some good bait and switches. Daniel Craig is... Everyone always talks about his accent, and so I don't know if I need to go into that anymore, but his foghorn leghorn voice is still back, and it is wonderful. For a bit of trivia, apparently they were considering doing a running joke where Daniel Craig would have a different outrageous accent in every movie, and no one would ever comment on it. But at the same time, his voice is amusingly charming, so I'm not opposed to them keeping it like that. But otherwise, the cast is all star. Edward Norton is great in the role here, and Dave Bautista is always fun. So then I will say Kate Hudson and Janelle Monáe are very good also. Janelle's the standout in this movie. She is very enjoyable here. Trying to think of what I can say without getting into details here. The way the mystery is staged, it's very well put together, and there's a couple prongs to it that once there is a turn that comes midway through, which reveals more or less what the actual mystery is, because there's a mystery leading up to that, but that's essentially bait and switches the mystery on you. But that's all I'm really going to say on that part. But the characters are kind of what make it, and that's kind of be what makes it or breaks it for you. But they definitely, even the ones that were terrible people, were interesting to watch. I will say Knives Out probably had a more interesting group in that regard to a degree, but at the same time, the people here are There's stereotypes blown up to 11, sure. I think I just used that phrase back in my Feast review. But it works in this case very well. Also, it's rare to see a mainstream movie reference the pandemic, but this one actually does at the front, so it's I think that's kind of needed. It's almost like a part of the healing process to acknowledge that this was a thing and a time and just not pretend it didn't happen. So I do kind of appreciate that they put that in there. It also helps show how superficial some of the characters can be, like with one that Kate Hudson's Birdie wearing pretty much a mesh mask so you can still completely see her face, and then having her complain that when she takes it off and just says, "Oh, now it's good," then it's good that I can finally breathe again, despite her not even barely wearing a mask. So the acting is great in this. The characters are very entertaining, and as long as the movie is, and it's almost 2.5 hours, it doesn't feel that long. The movie goes very quick. It's very well paced. So it's a long sit, but it's worth it for the sit. I wasn't watching the clock or getting bored by any means, and considering a lot of the movies I watch, that some of them are putting me to sleep, that's saying something. So I don't know if I have really anything else. I do look forward to. I have heard that a third one has been greenlit, so I'm on board. I would love to see it. For MacGuffin rating on Glass Onion, this one's definitely up there. I think I'm gonna also give this one 8 MacGuffins. It's very well put together. It's not perfect by any means, but it is very entertaining, and the climax is it's fun to watch. So you left feeling satisfied with the resolution, I think. So Glass Onion, 8 out of 10. If it's right now streaming on Netflix, so it's pretty easy to get a hold of. So do highly recommend. And yeah, it's one I'd like to pick up and add to my collection. Alrighty, Void. I will see you later, and I probably should get around to actually reviewing Knives Out now that I've talked about this one, but don't know when that's going to be. But I'll get to it at some point. I've been noticing that there's a lot of sequels I've reviewed over the course that I haven't done the originals for, so I need to kind of go back and correct some of that. So we'll get to that at some point. Alright, see you later, Void.